Welcome back to Omni Garage. So this is Ryobi's brushless 18 volt jet blower, which has 425 CFM, which is cubic feet per minute, and that is just basically how much air volume it pushes out here at the tip here. And so that sort of air volume is recommended for sort of medium sized lawns, which is perfect for my place around here. So a couple of features with this blower is it's got a trigger type handle here, which is variable speed, and then on the other side here it's got like a more of a cruise control type nozzle which you can spin around, and that will basically hold the trigger at variable speeds, which is really quite nice if you're blowing large areas for a constant period of time. And on the top here you've got the turbo boost, which just increases or gives you a little bit extra of air volume coming out, which is quite nice for when you've got like leaves that are slightly stuck on the pavement that just need a little bit extra. So coming to the front of the machine here, it comes with an extra optional nozzle, and this smaller nozzle here just allows that airflow to be slightly more directional. It probably restricts the flow a little bit, but gives you a little bit more accuracy with blowing, and then you can pop it off, which gives you less accuracy but has a little bit extra volume coming out of there, which is quite nice if you're blowing larger areas. And if you want to be more direct, you can pop this on. I do find that every now and again though that this does pop off, so I tend to use it without it. I guess one of the last features, which is something nice but not necessary, is that it has got these little feet along the bottom here, so that when you are sort of lying it on a shelf or putting it on the floor, it does stay pretty well balanced. This isn't a good example on the grass, but it does mean it can stand upright and doesn't necessarily fall over. So that's just a nice little feature for when you're storing the tool. And because this blower is part of Ryobi's 18 volt range, you do have to pair it with an 18 volt battery, and I typically do that with a 5 amp hour battery. Plug it in the back here. So this machine does weigh roughly a couple of kilos, so adding a little bit of extra weight there doesn't really unbalance the machine too much. And I find that the 5 amp hour battery is definitely plenty for me to be able to blow off the footpath and the driveway and a little bit of the patio here. And I don't think you need any more than that for this type of small area. So this blower puts out 107 decibels LWMA, so that's the amount of sound that it puts out directly from the machine, irrespective of the acoustic environment. So it also does put out 94 decibels LPA. Now this takes into account the acoustic environment, which is typically outside, and also that will be measured from slightly further away from the machine at, I suppose, Ryobi's defined point that they take that measurement. So that's why those numbers there are slightly different. So it's not that loud, but it's loud enough that I recommend that you put on a little bit of ear protection. Couple of earplugs. So as you can see, I think that this blower works better without this nozzle attachment on it. Okay, so another area that I like to use the leaf blower is when I come here to dry off the vehicle. So this is just going to replicate exactly what it's like when you take your car to the car wash. You know, at the end there, those big blowers come over your car and they basically just dry it off. So to give you a little bit of a background, this car is coated with G-Technic CSL, which is then topped with EXO. I regularly maintain the paint with Bead Maker as well. So those coatings, what they do is they make this paint quite hydrophobic to water, and so when water is on the paint, it sort of sheds off, as you can see, like droplets like this. The water just sheds off the paint. So if your vehicle doesn't have these types of coatings, then you might see the results a little bit different if you do use a blower to dry off your vehicle. So it is a little bit noisy. We need a couple of earplugs to do this, and then we'll walk around the car and we'll dry it off and show you how the water is removed. So that's just the water coming off the car at normal trigger speed, and there is a boost button on the top here. This is what happens. And this is with turbo on. So as you can see that this leaf blower does a pretty decent job at being able to remove the water from the car, and it dries it pretty well. However, I would like it to dry it a little bit more, and that's why I'd recommend that you get a leaf blower with a slightly higher CFM if you're going to use it for this type of application. So one thing I don't like about this tool is that the turbo boost button here is right on the top, and it's not very ergonomical when you've got the button down on here or the trigger down here and you're trying to push here. For long periods of time that can get quite sore. I do notice that on the newer models they have sort of rearranged this for configuration, and I think that's definitely a lot better design. So if you're already invested into Ryobi's 18 volt range, this tool is absolutely perfect for you. It means that you don't have to buy a battery, you don't have to buy a charger, you can just buy the skin or the tool only and you're good to go. I also think that if you have a sort of medium-sized yard, then this tool is absolutely perfect for you to blow off the leaves or remove a little bit of the lawn clippings from the driveway or the path or the patio. Bearing in mind that this tool is no longer made by Ryobi, they have brought out a new edition of this, and that has only got 410 CFM, which is slightly less than this model. So because I also use this leaf blower to dry off the car after I finish washing, you did see that it gets the car mostly dry, but I do think I would like a little bit more. And for me, I definitely know, because I have used another blower before, that leaf blowers with 500 plus CFM definitely do a better job of drying off the vehicle. So for me, and if you're in this type of position where you're going to use it for your lawn care as well as drying the car, then I'm going to upgrade this to the 36 volt range, because that sort of gets me into the 500 plus CFM. So if you're interested in this type of content, then drop us a comment and we'll try our best to reply back to you. And I recommend that you subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications when new videos are being released. And if you're interested in Ryobi content, go back through the channel and check some of it out. We have made a couple of videos on the Ryobi lawnmower there. So that's it from Omni Garage. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next video.